Okay, it's recording.
All right. Hey, what's up? So Vegan MAGA, I'm here with Vegan Ariel. She is a conservative and a vegan. She's been a YouTuber for a pretty long time now.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna talk a little bit here about animal rights and Trump. Why don't you just introduce yourself?
So I'm Vegan Ariel. I've been doing it for about 9 years. But the first probably 4 years or so was mainly vlogs, and then I went into more conservative content. And that was mainly because I kind of became more conservative over time. I considered myself a centrist, but I had some quite conservative views, and then I became more conservative over time, really.
Awesome. Uh, so I had a few questions for you. What do you think of Trump's first 100 days in office?
I think he's done quite well.
Oh yeah,
I think there's a
he's
lot
done.
of a
He's
good
virtually
executive
done
orders.
everything he promised.
Mm. I mean, he's done well on the executive orders. I like the fact that he's saying that women are only biological women and trans women can't be part of female sports. So that's really good. And it's actually quite interesting because the UK has done a similar law recently, and I
Hmm.
think that that's kind of in line with the American law that's just been passed.
Yeah, you
So
guys have cracked down big on that, which is
yeah.
it's almost surprised me because at one point it was the reverse. Like you guys was way more woke. I feel like when it came to the transgender issues.
Yeah, I think that do you know anything about UK politics or not really?
Not really. I mean, vaguely.
Okay. I think it's a fact that we have something called the Reform Party. Have you heard of the Reform Party?
No.
Okay. So the Reform Party is head by Nigel Farage and he's a civic nationalist.
Okay.
And essentially the Reform Party did quite well in the general election.
Hmm.
And they've done quite well in the council elections as well. And because of that, they're trying essentially the Labour Party and the Conservative Party are trying to do some things to appease people.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next question for you: uh, Do you make a connection with being anti-abortion and being vegan?
Um, yeah, kind of. I think that you can be pro-choice and vegan. I will never say that, but I think that
Mm.
it is interesting how vegans are shocked by, I don't know. I mean, they're shocked by dairy cows being killed while pregnant.
Hmm.
And then they're shocked by male chicks being ground up alive. Well, in the eggs, right? They would be against male chicks being ground up alive just before they're born,
Hmm.
while still in the egg. But then they're pro-choice up to birth. I feel like that's kind of a weird
It's
thing to
hypocritical.
me.
It's hypocritical. I mean, call it what it is. It is. I think it is a contradiction. I think everyone should be both. I think if you're anti-abortion, then you should be vegan. To me, there's a pretty big contradiction there.
Yeah, I think there is a contradiction there, but I don't like to say you can't be vegan if you're not this or you can't be vegan if you're not that. I think that's kind of what I try and steer away from.
Well, I
Um,
mean, of course, I want anyone to go vegan, and
yeah.
going vegan is the I would say is the most important thing, because animals are the most exploited thing. Support Animals are the most exploited beings on Earth right now. The most exploited, abused, and murdered people.
Hmm. I mean, what I think is weird is the fact that also there is parallels between evolution and between the growth of the fetus in the mother's womb.
Hmm.
Because the brain development of the fetus goes through all of the stages of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks originally it looks like a fish's brain, and then it looks like a reptile's brain, and then it looks like a mammal's brain, and then it looks like a human's brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of really weird when you go like, okay, well, we'll kill all the babies in the womb, or like I'm pro, I'm pro-choice up to birth, or I'm pro-choice, really late stages when it's going through all of the evolution of, the animals in the animal kingdom.
Oh,
I mean,
you're right.
I
So,
mean,
what would
say
you ultimately want to see uh, happen in terms of veganism? Would you want to see the world go vegan?
would I want to see the world go vegan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd want to see the world go vegan.
Of course, yeah. I know that's a no-brainer, but I put it out there. I already expected you to say that, but yeah.
I think if you don't want the world to go vegan, you're kind of a bit like you're using veganism as some kind of like, oh, I'm better than other people.
Yeah, or health. It doesn't make you better. When people use that I don't know if I'll call it an argument, but when people get offended and they say that, and they'll say, "Oh, what, you think you're better than me?" Uh, it's either just a tactic, just because they know they're doing something wrong,
Hmm.
and it's just a challenge. Uh, but also in some ways, are we better? I mean, morally, I guess we are doing something that is better. I mean, if you used any other comparison, if it was, are you better than a serial killer, a racist, a pedophile? Like, well, yeah,
Hmm.
right. You would say yes to that question. Most people would. So are vegans morally better? In a lot of sense, we are. I don't know if I would say 100%, oh, I'm better than you, because you might be better than me in something else, at
Yeah, yeah, it's
something,
true.
it's not, you might be able to complete some type of task better than me. And even morally, you might be better than me.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, in some ways, if you're an animal abuser, then yeah, I'm better than you for not being an animal abuser. But would anyone actually go vegan for that reason, just to be able to say that?
No, I mean, I've never seen a vegan that is. I've never seen a vegan that's. I mean, I've seen a vegan that is a bit full of himself, but like, I haven't really seen. I don't know.
Yeah, being full of yourself and arrogant is still not the same as that's your purpose. That was
Yeah,
your
yeah.
whole reason for going vegan, was to say that or do that.
Yeah, I've never seen a vegan that's like, because some people were talking about, I was talking about vegans, and I do think vegans have a certain personality. Like, you don't see vegans that are psychopaths or sociopaths. And you also don't see vegans that are
Hmm.
very, very passive. If that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I might be an example of that.
Mm.
Yeah, psych- psychopaths. I think there are a few. There are some.
Really?
Yeah, because
Who would you say is a psychopath that's vegan though, an actual psychopath? Because
there was this transgender cop who was vegan. I was gonna make a
oh
video.
yeah, true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah, and they killed people. I forget the exact case. I have to do a little more research into it again. I was gonna do a video on it, but it was, by the time I started uploading videos, the case was kind of already over with.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, they were definitely psychopaths, and they was pretty strong advocates for veganism too.
mm,
Um, that would be the only example
yeah.
that I could think of.
I mean, I've known people in my life who've been passive and vegan, like they've kind of they've been people pleasers. I
Hmm.
find that vegans don't tend to be people pleasers.
No,
I
no.
met
There's a name. I just recently learned it too. It escapes me now, but for vegans who, I think it's called a yes vegan, is what it is. But for vegans that just try to fit in, try to get along, like, oh, it's okay, you can eat that in front of me, or
Mm,
oh yeah, I'll go to McDonald's with you. There's no problem. Like they try not to push the veganism on you.
mm.
But if that's the case, I would be I think it's highly likely that those individuals are not truly vegan, that they might be plant based or in it for health purposes. Again, maybe there's a few exceptions, but I would tend to think if you're not advocating against it, then I don't know, like
I
there's
think
something
that
there.
I honestly think that some people struggle with confrontation. And I
Mm-hmm.
think those are the people that don't tend to go vegan. Or when they do go vegan, they're very much just like that.
Well, you know what? I don't know. Now that it, maybe I am being a little biased with that because you could love animals, you could be vegan, you could know it's wrong, and like you said, you're just not confrontational. You just don't want to tell people. Like for example, I mean, I'm against racism. I'm sure you are too. I'm against any type of prejudice, but in certain situations, I would talk to a racist person. I have talked to racist people.
Mm,
But I will still tell them. That's the thing. Like I'm not. I will at least put up that boundary. I will still tell them they're wrong.
mm,
So actually, no, that's not an example. Like you can associate with animal abusers, but you shouldn't be justifying it. You shouldn't be telling them that their acts are okay or that well I'm vegan, but you don't have to be. No, like you
mm.
at any point you get, you should advocate for animals and tell them that it's wrong and that they should be vegan.
I do agree with that. I think that there are people like my mum who she isn't vegan, but she knows all about veganism from me. And it's because she just doesn't want the confrontation of having to eat differently or like, I don't know, have arguments with people about veganism or
Yeah. But I mean, she could go vegan without
yeah.
having confrontations with people all the time. Like, what makes her think that she's going to be getting into these random confrontations all the time?
I think that some people they are a bit like I don't know. They feel like awkward asking for something different if they're coming over to someone's house.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would say if I put you on an island with 20 people and all of them was racist, would you
Mm.
then start to be racist because you're around them, or would you continue to not be racist and tell them that being racist is wrong? Or would you just adapt and no, I don't want confrontation. I want to fit in, and I'll just
Yeah.
have to be racist because everybody else is. Or would you reject that and tell them that no, that's wrong?
Mm.
No, not an excuse. I realize we live in a world. It's horrible. We live in a world where animal abuse and speciesism is acceptable. It's not just acceptable. It's the normal thing.
Mm.
It's condoned. Majority of the population are species. We are the majority. We are the minority vegans.
True, true.
We really are, and it's sad, but there's been other times in existence that this has happened, where there've been other injustice that was accepted, um, towards you fill it in with whatever demographic that you want, and right now we live in an era where it's animals being abused.
Mm.
And yeah, that's where the vegan hate comes from. I don't want to victimize myself. I don't think it's not about the vegans. It's not about us. It's about the victims. But there is a laws amount of vegan hate.
It's actually quite interesting because being on the right, I didn't actually think that there was much hate on the left for being vegan, but apparently. if you talk to the left, quite often they're like, "Oh, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism" and that kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Well,
That's what
think
they
about now.
say to, that's
You
their
get it.
excuse to other left-wing vegans.
I know a person who uh, he's a gay guy, and he hates Trump. He despises Trump. Very leftist, and he hates vegans.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
hates veganism. He hates vegans. It is possible, and there's a small portion of vegans. Like, even though unfortunately most vegans are not conservatives, that doesn't mean that the left, the Democrats, are all acceptive of vegans. No,
True, true.
absolutely not. And even if they are, they'll only are in like certain situations. It depends on how aggressive of a vegan you are. Aggressive, but yeah, at some point, if you find somebody who's um, a Democrat and you start talking about animal cruelty with them, see how quickly the conversations turns and they start using all the same tactics
Yeah,
that the
it's true.
craziest conservative would use.
And I think the whole there's no ethical consumption under capitalism came from Bush, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite funny because
Yeah.
he's just basically repeating a line that he famous YouTuber said.
I mean,
Um,
pretty much, yeah. Who is who are some of your favorite conservative, I guess, well-known conservative advocates, I guess we'll call them, or YouTubers?
um, what just conservative YouTubers?
Yeah.
In terms of conservative YouTubers, I like Matt Walsh. I like Ben
Mhm.
Shapiro.
Yep.
Main
Those are
ones
two
I
I like
listen to.
too.
I listen to Brett
Hey,
Cooper as well.
okay. Yeah, you have a video about Matt should go vegan,
Yeah.
an old one. Yeah,
Yeah. He's done
it'd be
quite a few
wonderful.
vegan videos, and it was kind of funny. I saw like a TikTok that he did, which was about dairy, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I had drinking plant-based milk is linked to depression," and then people were like, "Oh, plant-based milk doesn't have any B12 and vitamin D in it and calcium," and I was thinking like, I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah,
Like, no,
most of them do have that.
yeah,
And
they've got
how could
like
they
fortified.
determine specifically that it's the plant-based milk doing it, like not anything else? Like, I could see them saying vegan as a whole, which still wouldn't be right, but how would they specifically determine that it's the milk causing the depression?
Hmm.
Like, what to, oh, I would want to know the science behind that.
Well, I did hear that vegans had higher rates of depression, but then someone was saying it was because um they know what animals go through.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's two things. If you knew that there was a group of people being exterminated, executed, abused, raped uh, regularly, how would that make you feel? Like, and you're powerless, and there's
Hmm.
nothing we can really do about other than what we're doing. Making these videos or doing protests or telling people about it. Uh, but with the exception of that, there's not much we can do to change it. I mean, I know eventually a time will come when we will change
Hmm.
it, and we have already been able to prevent a lot of animal abuse, and we have accomplished a lot of things, getting a lot of animal abuse shut down. But that I would say would definitely open people's eyes, and it would make them depressed. The other reason would be what we was discussing before about the anti-vegans and the hate towards vegans,
Yeah,
or
true.
maybe the social. A lot of vegans probably are not as social. They probably don't interact with people as much.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
Also,
all that can lead to depression.
it depends on their study as well, because if you're looking at There are vegans that aren't. It depends how they did their study. So let's say you do, people on vegan Facebook groups,
Hmm.
or if you were, people on activist Facebook groups, I would think that they would have higher rates of depression than vegans in general.
Hmm.
Because if you're doing activism all the time, you're seeing what animals are going through all the time, you're doing AV or you're going to a cow save every
Hmm.
weekend, then
Yeah.
um it's a lot more present in your mind and you're thinking about it a lot more
Hmm.
than if you're just a vegan going on about your daily life, right?
Exactly.
Eating food.
And again, it could also just be hoax. Like I don't even know if I would believe it if it's 100% true because I've met
Mm,
a lot of vegans that are not depressed. So it could just be another strategy and tactic to try to discredit veganism. Oh, well, veganism will make you depressed. Like they say, they label vegan everything.
mm,
Veganism will do this, that, this, that. They try to blame everything bad on veganism.
mm.
So I would question whether or not vegans truly do have a higher rate of depression.
It also could be the fact that people on the left tend to have depression more than people on the right.
Yeah,
And
okay,
then a lot of vegans are on the left.
that could be.
So it
Why do
could
you think
be,
that is?
pardon?
Why do you think that is? I wasn't aware of that.
Um, so Edward Dutton, he does quite a lot of videos about genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are a bit extreme. So I don't know. But I mean, he was hmm, what did he say about it? Basically, he says that people who are drawn to leftism tend to be more genetically abnormal
I mean, I'm not surprised, but okay.
because they
Genetically
they tend to
abnormal.
be like trans or
Mhm.
um
Yeah, and we know that the trans community has an extremely high suicide rate, an extremely high depression rate. A lot of them are in therapy, um, and not just for the transitioning.
mm. And it's also the fact that you tend to humans, they tend to want to look after their family first,
Hmm.
and then their community, and then their nation, and then the globe. But
Hmm.
in the kind of leftist view, it's the opposite way around. It's like the globe, and then it's kind of subverted,
Okay,
which is kind of a genetic abnormality in itself.
that's true. So, what did you become first, a conservative or a vegan?
Um, it's hard to say because I've had a lot of strong beliefs before I became vegan. So I was strongly pro-life. Um, so I had some conservative views before I became vegan, but then I would say became conservative more with age. So I probably became conservative about 2018.
Okay, so that's a timeline. I'm I'm very similar to that. I had the conservative views, but I did not really label myself a conservative
Hmm.
until about 2018. No, probably a little before that, like 2016. Is when I would have started labeling myself that. Before then, I was very independent, didn't really have a official side, but I definitely always took the. I always been anti abortion, and I always been anti-immigrants. Wasn't as big of an issue then, but
Hmm.
yeah. So you have been thrown out of a lot of like vegan
Yeah.
groups, right? For being a conservative, and for just speaking of mine, pre-meeting will end in 10. All right, we got like 10 minutes. All
Okay.
right. Um, so yeah, you've been thrown out. Like, was there ever a situation that, uh, well, explain like a situation to me where that has happened.
Oh, okay. So I did my Black Lives Matter video. So that was
Hmm.
2020. And I was kicked out of Milton Keynes Vegans for doing the anti-Black Lives Matter video.
Hmm.
And they said I was racist and they didn't want racist vegans in their group.
They actually did, and they legit called you a racist.
Yeah, they did.
Wow. It was just, did you promote it? Like you just made the video and then
I
like
made the video,
come and saw the video?
and then I think someone said like they posted a comment like I don't know there's someone posted a comment like I'm gonna get her for this or something, and then they posted the video to one of the admin in
Hmm.
Milton Keynes Vegans, I think, and they were
Yep.
like, oh, we're getting rid of you for being racist. I was like, okay.
That's nuts. What that is just horrible. I just wonder how those people are thinking now. Like,
I don't know. I think they're probably the same.
hmm like all those riots, all those people protests. That's sort of been about veganism to begin with,
Mm.
because that's the biggest. That was the biggest issue then. Again, animals are the most abused and oppressed species. They are the ones we need to be fighting for.
And I think it's sad because basically what will end up happening is the vegan community. It used to be because I remember like pre 2020, Milton Keynes Vegans, they used to have 20 people at outreach.
Mm-hmm.
But now I do outreach in Bedford and it's only like six of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's shrunk because they're, I don't know, so clicky
Mm-hmm.
and so exclusive.
Yep.
And I honestly think it's better that if you're next to someone doing outreach that has completely opposite political views from you than having the same political views as you. I think vegans, especially new vegans, they tend to think like, oh, I can be friends with this vegan person because they're vegan and I'm vegan. But like, it just doesn't work like that.
No,
Like,
unfortunately not. No. And I have had that exact scenario, happen where it's like we got that in common. We're both vegans, but then ends up creating some type of conflict when it comes to political views, and
hmm.
then vice versa with the political views.
Well,
Um,
I think it's best for you to just work together with someone that you're complete opposites with than you're the same with, because that way you can get more people onto your side, right?
all right,
If
so
you're
you
both
say you
leftists,
had
you
a
can only really get
situation.
leftists onto your side.
Right. So you have had situations where woke vegans have extradited you or criticized you. What about the opposite? Have you ever had like a conservative group reject you for being vegan or like kick you out? Oh, you shouldn't be here. Or
Not really. I've never really had that.
mm-hmm. So do you
Um,
think conservatives, even though we, stereotypically we hear about conservatives being so biased towards vegans, and obviously we know the mainstream ones who have been confronted on the subject are, and we know that most vegans are not conservatives. But just personally in your own life, would you say that you have been accepted more by conservative non-vegans than vegan non-conservatives?
yeah. So I would say, so I'm part of a group. It's not going to happen this year because the March for Life and the Animal Rights March in the UK is on the same day, which is a bit bad. But anyway, normally we go to the Animal Rights March, and then the week after we go to the pro-life march, because
Okay.
they're on like one's the week before the other one, and
Hmm.
we go in pro-life, vegan, and proud t-shirts as
Okay.
like a group with like my friend Leslie and my husband and various other people. And when we go to the vegan march, we've I mean, there have been times where I felt more scared on the vegan march in my pro-life shirt. No, I
Oh
felt
yeah.
pro-life shirt in my vegan, the pro-life march in my vegan and pro-life shirt. So we get more negative reactions towards being pro-life on a vegan march than we do being vegan on a pro-life march.
And I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. Because who are the more loudest? Who are the more obnoxious? Who are the more biased? It is
Mm,
woke people, not necessarily woke vegans, but people. And if they happen to be vegan, that isn't, unfortunately, that doesn't change it. Even though if
mm.
you're vegan, you would think you would be more acceptive of people, but no. So yeah, I completely agree with that.
I mean, on the pro-life march one year, one person was wearing this pro-life, vegan, and proud t-shirt, and he got threatened, and he was told to take off his shirt
That's
at the vegan
insane. That's
march.
insane. Wait, like why? Like what reason? What is that? That's crazy.
But it was because it said because it said pro-life on it, they were like, "Oh, you have to take it off, and you don't like women and all this other crap." And
Don't like women. Now,
yeah,
I mean, okay, I'll ignore the fact that obviously we know that being pro-life is loving women and is loving kids and is loving girls in wombs who, I mean, the child, the babies, we know that.
mm,
But even if you didn't believe that, even if you thought that, hey, it's, it's undeveloped yet, it's not a human, you're just preventing life, I still don't see why you would be mad at someone for not believing that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
is your reason for being angry? Hey, you had to take that shot. You see it from their point of view? Can't you look and be like, they're wrong about that, but it's okay. Like, to hate women for that. So what would they have said if there was a woman wearing it?
I don't know, but like after that, they the next vegan march, someone was kind of like complaining online, and they were like, "Oh, if we see you in these shirts, then we're gonna kick you off the march."
Oh my God, that's
I
insane.
know.
Man. Oh man.
So
Uh, so we probably are running out of time here, but
okay.
is there anything else you want to add or any questions you had for me?
Um, I don't think so. Have you gone to any vegan events in the US or not really?
No, not really.
Oh,
No,
okay.
there's just not enough. I would if there was more available. I haven't had any. I haven't really had that opportunity. I wish I could.
Mm. I mean, it's hard to find a vegan group that isn't full of woke leftists. I think that's the main issue.
It is. Yeah, it's hard. It's at some point I intend on traveling more and going to events like that. But I mean, hey, I'm gonna be going with my MAGA hat on. I don't care. It is what it is. I'll go with my MAGA. I'll go with my Vegans for Trump shirt on, or my Vegans for Trump hat. And
Mm.
that's and good luck telling me to take it off. You know, uh, I, I might have to make a video about that.
That'd be hilarious if you went to a vegan march in your Trump hat.
No, I would do it. Like I totally would do it if there was one around. I would do it. I would wear like something like this, like Animals Lives Matter, or a vegan power shirt with a Trump hat. I'll be all the way with it. And it's like, you know, Trump's not vegan, obviously, but majority of the population are not vegan. Kamala wasn't vegan. Byron's not vegan. And at the end of the day, his policies and the way his qualities. He's the most fittest for the job. Like, and I do still respect him. I do. I don't like it that he's an animal abuser. I don't like it that anybody who is an animal abuser.